Hi, I'm Rick Kahler, and thanks for joining me today. Well, over the past few months, news reports have featured high oil prices, the subprime mortgage mess, and concerns about the health of the U.S. economy. And certainly these are legitimate, newsworthy issues. Consumers are concerned about the costs of driving their cars, heating their houses, or being able to afford the American dream of home ownership. The outcome of bad economic news is typically a need to blame somebody or something for the problem. High on almost every blame list is the government or big greedy corporations. In the past year, almost everyone who has turned on any news program has heard high fuel prices blamed on the obscene profits of oil companies. High medical costs are blamed on the greed of pharmaceutical companies. It's easy to see large companies or industries as the problem, or regard them as huge, malicious entities out to prey on unsuspecting consumers. Yet the reality isn't quite that simple. Certainly, there are abuses and cases of outrageous fraud. Enron is the obvious example, and it makes no sense that a highly compensated CEO who mismanages a company into bankruptcy for all of its stockholders should be rewarded with a multi-million-dollar termination package. True, big corporations exist primarily to make money, but so do small corporations and individually owned businesses. That's the foundation of a capitalistic system, and it's nothing to apologize for. Shareholders expect companies they own to be profitable. An inconvenient reality that tends to be ignored, however, is just who profits when those big corporations make money. Most people who criticize big business don't stop to think that, by and large, the shareholders of those corporations are not only the ultra-rich and wealthy, but ordinary consumers like you and me. Anyone who has an IRA, a 401k, an investment in mutual funds, or who is a participant in a state retirement pension plan is a shareholder in one or more big, greedy corporations. Over 50% of all U.S. households own stocks, either directly or in a mutual fund or a retirement plan. That's according to a 2005 study done by the Securities Industry Association and the Investment Company Institute. That equates to almost 57 million households. Now, certainly it's important that publicly traded companies be held accountable and regulated sufficiently to ensure honesty and legitimate business practices. Yet passing even more burdensome laws that will lower the profitability of those companies with the grand intention of protecting the little people against any losses can actually do just the opposite. It ultimately could result in significantly reducing the value of the very investments those people count on for a sufficient income in retirement. When a major industry, whether it's banking, manufacturing, oil, or pharmaceuticals, is hit with new regulations or penalties that result in losses rather than profits, those losses aren't suffered by big, greedy corporations. The losses are suffered by the company's shareholders. This includes a great many individual, ordinary investors who IRAs, 401ks, and other retirement nest eggs could lose significant value, perhaps for many years. Some of the suggested solutions for the subprime mortgage losses, for example, would have the unintended consequence of drying up credit for all except the most credit-worthy borrowers. This would make it harder for small companies, large companies, and individuals to obtain loans to buy property or expand business. It could take us back to the days when the only ones who could borrow money were those who didn't need it. As a consumer and a small investor, being skeptical is a good idea, yet seeing big business as a simple matter of us versus them is taking skepticism much too far. Thanks for joining me.